Welcome to a V-EB10 rulings video. Bushiroad Japan has issued rulings for the V-Series' antagonist of the season booster set, because reading is hard, while trying to look for Escahibino fan art for research purposes. Let's begin. Does a Gravane, Aliena, Cunadagius, or Langley's auto ability require the called rearguard units this turn to be present when resolving their ability? No, it does not. Their ability only refers to the number of rearguard units you called this turn. How does a Gravane, Aliena, Cunadagius, or Langley's auto ability count multiple rearguard units called at the same time? Their ability will refer to them being called individually. Will a Gravane's act ability lose its effect if I ride or stride over him? No, it will not. The ability, once resolved, will last for the entire match. Can I call triggers, G-guards, and or protect one markers to the Guardian Circle after my opponent used a Gravane's act ability? No, you cannot. You can only call normal units on either rearguard or Guardian Circle until the end of the match. Protect one markers are classified as protect cards. They are not normal units. Can I call token units to my rearguard after my opponent used a Gravane's act ability? No, you cannot. You can only call normal units on either rearguard or Guardian Circle until the end of the match. Token units are classified as token cards. They are not normal units. What happens when I use Escrod's ability and saw a trigger unit on top of my deck after my opponent used a Gravane's act ability? It will remain on top of your deck because you cannot call trigger units. Looking at cards in your deck does not change the card's current zone. And you don't have to reveal to your opponent that it was a trigger unit. Call a judge to confirm if necessary. What happens when I use Platina Resol's ability and on my drive check I saw two trigger units on top of my deck after my opponent used a Gravane's act ability? Place one of them on your trigger zone as your drive check and put the other back on top of your deck because you cannot call trigger units. Looking at cards in your deck does not change the card's current zone. And you don't have to reveal to your opponent that it was a trigger unit. Call a judge to confirm if necessary. What happens when I use Melissa's ability after my opponent used a Gravane's act ability? Your opponent can still call trigger units because they are not affected by their own Gravane's act ability, since they're the ones calling their own rearguard units. What happens when I use Agnos's ability after my opponent used a Gravane's act ability? You call as much of your normal units in hand as possible. Reveal your cards in hand to your opponent. If you can no longer call normal units and there are still rearguard circles you haven't placed a normal unit on. Does Isabel's continuous ability only apply to herself? No, it does not. It applies to all your units that have the perform one of the effects card text. Can I choose not to do one of the two abilities of a card with a perform one of the effects card text while under Isabel's continuous ability? No, you cannot. You do both abilities as much as possible and in proper order, from the top text to the bottom text. How can I guard an attack by Monoculus Tiger that has both its abilities active due to Isabel's continuous ability? You can only guard with trigger units that aren't a sentinel. Will existing 5k plant tokens on my rearguard get affected by Sephiroth's continuous ability when it's placed on Vanguard? No, they will not. Only newly called token units after riding Sephiroth will get affected by its continuous ability. Will existing 10k plant tokens get reverted back to 5k plant tokens if Sephiroth disappears from the Vanguard circle? No, they will not. The 10k plant tokens were already called when the rules for calling plant tokens have been changed. Can I choose not to call a 10k plant token while Sephiroth is on my Vanguard? No, you cannot. Continuous abilities will take precedence. Can I retire Sephiroth itself as a cost when I use its act ability while on rearguard? Yes, you may. Can I choose not to use the first part of Escrod's on place ability? No, you cannot. You do as much of the skill as possible because it has no cost. Can I use Escrod's ability to gain 5k power even though my Vanguard isn't a Gravane or Escrod? No, you cannot. You must fulfill the first part of the skill's conditions in order to use the latter part of his ability. Can I choose not to use Tron's on hit ability? No, you cannot. You do as much of the skill as possible when his attack hits because it has no cost. Can I retire to herself as a cost when I use her on place auto ability on rear guard? Yes you may. Can I use Pellinnor's in-hand auto ability after Aliena's attack hits then moves into the soul due to her ability thus becoming my third card in soul? Yes you may. Both abilities are placed on standby and you decide which to resolve first. Will Agravane retain the power bonus from Cunadagius's ability after boosting then was moved to soul due to Agravane's auto ability? Yes he will. However, the regular power boost from Cunadagius will be lost. Will Merimitin's auto ability lose its effect of preventing opponent from intercepting if it was retired? No it will not. The ability once resolved will last until the end of that turn. Can I use Hamdan's ability if it was on an Axel circle and I call another unit over him? Yes you may. Hamdan's ability will be placed on standby after getting retired due to an overloaded circle. Will Hamhiko get 5k power from its other auto ability if I use its on place auto ability? Yes it will. Looking at cards in your deck does not change the card's current zone. The viewed card will be treated as being sent from deck to the drop zone. Will the 10k plant token that was called due to Timber's Vanguard ability revert back to a 5k plant token at the end of the turn? No it will not. The 10k plant token was already called when the rules for calling plant tokens have been changed. What happens if I call 2 or more plant tokens at the same time while under Timber's Vanguard ability? Only one of them will become a 10k plant token. Will Providential Angel's ability lose its effect if it was retired or if my cards in hand increased to more than 1? No it will not. The ability once resolved will last until the end of that turn. Can I guard with non-sentinel units after my opponent used Providential Angel's ability? Yes you may. Providential Angel's ability only refers to the amount of sentinel units you can call this turn. It does not prevent you from calling other types of cards. Can I use Snackwill's ability if a card was sent from my deck to the drop zone before it was called to my rear guard? Yes you may. The requirement is met if a card was sent from your deck to the drop zone during that turn. Can I retire an intercepting plant token with Heartless's ability even if my opponent has Yennefer on rear guard? Yes you may. Heartless does not choose a card for its ability. Can I bind a plant token in the front row with Choo's ability even if my opponent has Yennefer on the same column as that plant token? Yes you can. Choo selects the column and not the unit itself. Can I choose to retire my plant token in the same column as Yennefer when my opponent use Phantom Blaster Dragon's act ability? No you cannot. The plant token in the same column as Yennefer cannot be selected by opponent's abilities even if the opponent makes you choose. Will Coerus's ability lose its effect if my cards in hand increased to more than 1? No it will not. The ability once resolved will last until the end of that turn. Will Cloudwing Eagle get 5k power if I ride a Vanguard unit? Yes it will. Can I choose not to use Protractor Parrot's ability? No you cannot. You do as much of the skill as possible. Can I use Sargent Malnasu's ability if I called it over a unit with 9k or less power on a Force 1 marker during my turn? Yes you can. Sargent Malnasu does not require the called over unit to exactly have 10k power to resolve its ability. Are plant tokens considered as normal units on the field? No they are not. Token units do not have a specific type, so they are not normal units. Can my units with the Lord ability attack when I have token units on my rear guard? No they cannot. Token units do not belong to any clan. Thus you have a unit that doesn't have the same clan as the unit with the Lord ability. Can I soul charge plant tokens for an ability cost? Yes you may. Tokens while on the field are treated like a rear guard unit. They'll immediately disappear once they go into the soul, but will still count as being soul charged. Does the 5k plant token and 10k plant token considered to have the same card name? Yes they do. Can I use the same sleeve designs for my token cards and imaginary gifts? Yes you may. Although it is highly recommended to use different sleeves as to make them distinguishable. Can I use the same sleeve designs for my token cards and main deck cards? No you cannot. What happens when a token unit is locked? The token unit will disappear and the rear guard circle will be open. Can I use customized proxies as token cards in official events? No you cannot. And that concludes this V-EB10 rulings video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if a Gravain's rulings gave you a migraine.